Hi, my name is Anne Dimla, and today I'll be presenting you about rickets. Etiology of rickets comes in possible outcomes of nutritional deficiency, genetic disorder, or birth defects. As reported by the Causation and Prevention of Rickets by the National Institute for Medical Research, shares how rickets may come in various causes such as overfeeding, starvation, intestinal intoxication, defective hygiene, disorders of the ductless glands, and acidosis. It is also possible that it is correlated to sunlight exposure. What animals can be affected? Dogs, cats, rabbits, horses, birds, livestock animals, especially in young and growing animals. Transmission. Various of ways it can afflict. Environment plays a role in receiving nutritional needs, which can sometimes lead to vitamin D deficiency. Depending on the environment, do they have more exposure to sunlight? Does the environment lacks vitamins and minerals for them to feed? Or from a parent or host that is affected with rickets will likely transfer it to its young. It is also known as osteomalacia, which is found in adults or grown animals. Symptoms: bone pain, stiff guyet, swelling in the area of metaphysis, difficulty in rising, bowed limbs, pathologic fractures. According to Rickets in Animals by Merrick Veterinary Manual clarifies rickets is a disorder affecting the skeleton of growing animals, primarily the causes of insufficient dietary of phosphorus or calcium or insufficient availability of vitamin D. In other words, it is a type of bone disease in which animals have vitamin D deficiency. It would likely occur in younger animals, along with other possible causes such as improper diet, hereditary, and genetic issue that cause them to become deformed. As you can see the difference between the normal bone and the ricket bone and the jaw skeleton from a regular to the transition of the third picture of deform. Excessive eating of phosphorus or calcium in their diet can also lead to rickets. And very minimum of phosphorus and calcium is also what leads to rickets, which is known as vitamin D deficiency. Prevention and treatment. From the article of The Control of Rickets by Martha May Eloy, suggests the use of cod liver oil, which is a supplementary like omega for humans, and sunlight as a way to prevent rickets from baby animals. It is important to start prevention in young as soon as possible, starting with sunlight as skin absorbs vitamin D. Treatment, very similar to prevention, generally focuses more on correction in diet, which is one of the main treatment of rickets. Owners can also make homemade diets which are able to alter amounts of calcium and phosphorus in the food to ensure it's not too excessive or too minimum. Is it zootonic? No, it is not zootonic. It can only be transferred genetically and cannot spread to other animals or humans. Here's a interesting fact and history of rickets. The first rickets that occurred is through humans and eventually on animals. Depending on the environmental condition, it affects both humans and rickets for it to occur. The word rickets actually came from the German word ricken, which translates to twisted. And based on the archaeological records, Shares the discovery and skeletal changes through children, adults, and pets with rickets around the 14th century to the 16th century of France, Italy, Roman Dorset, UK, and medieval North Yorkshire. There's also an outline here of, timeline. Timeline here that shares the history of rickets from the 100,000 years before the present, along with the other years. You can see that it's mostly about UV or sunlight exposure, as it provides the main source of vitamin D. Here's some local news. Betty the pup cured from rickets. A story, a story shared by the dog's foster owners, Megan Cashew and Jenny Bass, of Betty with rickets. Before taking her in, they noticed Betty's difficulty. Her paws would drag when she walks. Her legs was more outward than straight in, and learned it was rickets causing this form. They clarify what causes the rickets to form in the puppies. Rickets is a rare disease in young animals, including dogs, that causes soft and deformed bones. The cause of rickets is typically an imbalance in the ratio of calcium to phosphorus in the diet, according to Dr. Walter Greenberg. As they were informed, they began to give her certain diets that focuses on calcium and phosphorus. Eventually, Betty began to walk and run normal. Here's a video link here, and you can watch it in your own time. Conclusion. Rickets is a form of deficiency that affects the structure and growth of bones. It is preventable and treatable. Make sure your pets are exposed to sunlight, eat food with a balanced diet, and if needed, provide supplements.